There was once a Tonga who lived in Moa. He had a most beautiful daughter whose name was Talamasina. This daughter, despite all her beauty, had a peculiarity which was not very endearing. Ever since Talamasina was born, she had always been a fretful baby, and as an infant, she had kept her nurses on their feet all the time, trying to soothe her. As a child, she had almost lived on the backs of her waiting maids, only being put down when she had happened to go to sleep, which was not very often. Now, as a young maiden, instead of being cured, this condition became worse. Her father's people were absolutely enslaved by her fretfulness and whimpering, so they were recruited and divided into groups to carry the litter of his spoiled daughter. Meanwhile, on an island in the Samoan group, a Manaya, handsome young man called Sinilau sat in the kava circle night after night, listening to the tales of the beautiful daughter of the Tonga, who was constantly crying. One day, he said to his attendant, "Let's go to Tonga and see if all these tales are true. You know, this story about the crying princess." So they took their boat down to the beach, launched it into the water, and started to row. They rowed and rowed until they arrived in Tonga. They anchored at Kolongahau, the landing place at the Takamotonga near Moa. And Sinilau said to his attendant, "You go ashore and see if the story is true, while I stay here and look after the boat." The attendant then went ashore and went straight to the home of the Tonga. He found that all they had heard was indeed true. The girl was a very beautiful and then often cried. In fact, she was crying at that moment, and the people were carrying her about on a litter. Sinilau's attendant stood in the doorway, holding on to the sides of the door, and he spoke to the people carrying her. "Let me take a turn in carrying her," he said. At the sound of his voice, the girl stopped crying and turned her head and spat in his face. This annoyed the attendant, so he left. He went straight back to the beach to his young master and told him what had happened. "What we heard in Samoa is true," he said. "The girl is exceedingly beautiful, and she often cries, keeping the people on their feet carrying her. But she is terribly rude. I offered to take the place of those carrying her, and she spat in my face." "All right, let's return to Samoa," said Sinilau. When they arrived back in Samoa, an announcement was sent out for all the young maidens of the land to gather at a certain place and at a certain time for Sinilau to choose a wife for himself. Meanwhile, the Tongan princess had stopped crying. The poor people of Moa gave a sigh of relief, put the litter down, and all went to sleep. Talamasina, on the other hand, waited until she was sure everyone was sound asleep. Then she got up and went outside. There, she followed the Samoan man's footprints down to the beach, and when they ended at the water's edge, she waded in and started to swim to Samoa. She was fortunate, for the tide and the current took her straight to a beach in Samoa, where Sinilau's mother lived. Now, Sinilau's mother was an old woman who was half human and half goddess. And it so happened that at that moment, she was going down to the sea to get some water. When she saw this beautiful girl resting on the beach, she was very surprised and asked her where she had come from. I came on a boat which sank and everyone on board drowned. I alone am left. The woman said to her, "And what is your name?" Hungalu o pea ifu kahi peao, foam of pea on the surface of the waves. She did not give the old woman her correct name because she was ashamed of what she had done to the attendant, and also because she felt embarrassed about swimming all the way to Samoa, following the call of her heart just to see the Manaya Sinilau. "You must come and live with me," the woman told her. Sinilau's mother was very happy, for she had made up her mind that this beautiful girl must marry her son. The girl had arrived at a fortunate time because the ceremony to choose Sinilau's bride would be held soon. The next morning, Sinilau went to his mother's house. The old woman hid Hungaru Opea and waited alone for her son. When he arrived, she asked him, "Why have you come, my son?" "I have come to ask you to make a vala and a kakala for me," Sinilau answered. "I want to wear them at the ceremony to choose my wife, which will take place tomorrow." "I will do it right away," his mother replied. "You may return when I have finished." Sinilau then left, not realizing that his mother was hiding a girl in her house. And as soon as he was gone, the old woman called Hungalu Opea and said to her, "Could you please make 2 vala and 2 kakala? The 2 vala must be exactly the same, and the 2 kakala also must be identical." Hungalu Opea quickly picked some flowers, and then she sat down and strung them together to make 2 musipalataha, a kind of garland. Then she made 2 valatui, a special vala for ceremonies. The 2 vala and the 2 kakala that she made were exceedingly beautiful. When morning came, the old woman hid Hungalu Opea with one of the vala and the garland, while she laid out the other vala and garland for her son. Sinilau arrived to see his vala and garland. He was delighted. "How beautiful," he said to his mother. "Not since I was a child have you made such beautiful things for me." "I want you to look your best today, my son," replied the old woman. "For today is the day to choose your wife. I want my son to be the most handsome at the ceremony, so that no one can be compared to you." Sinilau dressed and went to the appointed place hastily. When he was gone, the old woman told Hungalu Opea to bathe and get ready, as they too would go to the ceremony. So the girl put on the vala and the kakala that she had made. So they hurried off to the festival. The whole ceremony was suddenly disrupted by the appearance of Hungalu Opea. Sinilau saw that the clothing of the girl was the same as his, and he called out, "Hold that woman and bring her here. She will be my wife." The old woman caused the girl to disappear at that moment and took her back to their home and hid her there. The ceremony broke up because of what had happened, and it was postponed until the next day. Then the attendant of Sinilau said to him, "Sinilau, the girl at your ceremony was none other than Talamasina, the daughter of the Tonga." Sinilau went to his mother's house, and she asked him, "How did the festival go? Did you find a wife?" "No," he answered. "Mother, you know the girl who appeared at the ceremony had the same vala and garland as mine? She is the one that I wanted to marry." Well, where do you think we can find her? His mother asked. Unfortunately, Sinilau answered, I don't even know who she is, where she comes from, or where she went. But the ceremony has been postponed until tomorrow, so please make some more garments for me to wear. Very well, I will do it right away, she replied. You may return when I have finished. As it happened on the previous day, Hungaluopea was asked to prepare these things by Sinilau's mother. So the girl picked some flowers and strung them together. But this time, she made garlands called Fuhinga Alamea and 2 garments called Vala Fakalau. Next morning, Sinilau came, and again he was amazed at the beauty of the Vala and garland. He put them on and left the house. Hungaluopea was told to dress with the other Vala and garland. Then when she was ready, she left with Sinilau's mother. Again, the same thing happened as on the previous day. Suddenly, Hungaluopea appeared right in the midst of the ceremony. And as soon as the young man called out, "That one will be my wife," the old woman caused a great darkness to fall and took the girl away to their home and hid her. Sinilau went to his mother's house and said, "The same girl was there today, mother, and just as yesterday, we were dressed exactly alike." Again, as soon as I called out, "Hold that woman, she will be my wife," the place became very dark. We could not see each other, and when light returned, she had disappeared. If only I knew where she was, I could go and try to win her as my wife. I cannot marry anyone else but her. His mother told him, "Go into the room and bring me a vala that is on the bed there." Imagine Sinilau's surprise when he went in and instead of finding a vala, he saw a beautiful girl. And not only that, but it was the girl who had appeared at the ceremony. He immediately went over to Hungaluopea, kissed and embraced her, and asked her to marry him. "First, let's go and thank your mother for all that she has done for me," she said. Sinilau then led her to his mother, and they both thanked the old woman and told of their plans for marriage. Sinilau told Hungaluopea about what his attendant had said, that she was Talamasina, the Tongan princess. Hungaluopea denied this because she was still embarrassed about spitting in the face of the attendant. Still, Sinilau was doubtful, so he sent his attendant back to Tonga to confirm whether Hungaluopea was Talamasina or not. When the attendant arrived in Mu'a, he found all the chiefs and people in mourning because everyone thought that Princess Talamasina was dead. The attendant entered the house of the Tonga and saw the princess' ivory inlaid drinking cup, which he had noticed hanging at the side of the house on the night that the girl spat on him. He took the cup and tucked it into his vala and then returned to his boat. When he arrived at Samoa, he left the cup in the boat and went straight to Sinilau and told him everything that he had seen in Tonga. Sinilau then called Hungaluopea and told her that there was something in the boat for her, and that she should go down and get it. She ran happily down to the boat while the 2 men followed, hiding and watching her. When Hungaluopea saw the cup, the memory of her family in Tonga engulfed her, and she cried, my cup from Tonga. Who has brought you here?" Sinilau then approached her with his attendant and said, Princess Talamasina, why have you deceived me this way? Because I was so shameful at what I did to your attendant, the girl answered. Never mind that, Sinilau then told her. It is in the past. I still want to marry you. Talamasina said that they should wait until she could go to Tonga and tell her father about their marriage. Then she would return and they could be married. All right, said Sinilau. But before you go, I want us to swear that we will marry only each other. You may go to Tonga, but if you break this vow, then you must die. I will stay here, and if I break the vow, then I must die. So they pledged to marry only each other. So Talamasina returned to Tonga. As soon as she had set sail, the chiefs of Samoa began to insist that Sinilau should marry a Samoan woman. They did so because they did not want their kie to go to Tonga. Sinilau knew full well that if he did not do what the chiefs demanded, they would kill him. So he decided to do what they wished. He knew that he would die no matter what he did. Thus, Sinilau was married to a young maiden of Samoa. So right after the wedding ceremony, he died because he had broken his vow to Talamasina. As he lay dying, he asked to be buried at a place called Tuasivivalu, where he could look out over the sea towards Tonga and see the sails of the boats of Talamasina's party returning for their wedding. After they had buried him at Tuasivivalu, the Samoans brought all their kia hingoa, those mats which were famous and valuable that they had been given names, to decorate the tomb. One day, Sinilau saw sails on the horizon, and he knew that Talamasina was returning with her father and their people for the wedding. He then went down in his human form to the boats to welcome them. The wedding was held, and the Tu'itonga and his people returned to Tonga. Sinilau then told Talamasina that his people had forced him to marry another woman, and in so doing he had broken their vow and was now dead. Talamasina cried, but he told her, "Don't cry. I'll take you back to Tonga safely. Come with me to my tomb to spend the night there, and we'll return tomorrow to Tonga." He asked her to do this because he wanted to keep her safe, lest the Samoans find her and kill her. The girl agreed, so they went to his tomb to spend the night there. Early in the night, the Samoan spirits came and asked him to let them have the girl to kill her, but he stood up and chased them away. They left because they were the ghost of his mother's kinsmen. In the morning, Sinilau told Talamasina, "Today we must leave for Tonga, for tonight the ghosts of my father's family will come for you, and I won't be able to chase them away." Sinilau then bundled up all the gear which had been placed around his tomb and tied them onto his shoulders. He told Talamasina to get on his back, and then he went into the sea and started to swim. At night, the ghost came to the tomb and found that the couple and all the gear had disappeared. So they chased after them to get back all the treasured mats of Samoa. When Sinilau and Talamasina arrived in Niua, he told her that the ghosts had started chasing after them from Samoa. Then when they came into Vava'u, he told her that the ghosts had now arrived in Niua. Talamasina then said, "Sinilau, please leave me here, and you return." "No," he answered. "I'm going to take you to Tonga Tapu." They swam on and reached Ha'apai. So he told her that the ghosts were now in Vava'u. They continued swimming until they arrived in Malinoa, a small island north of Tonga Tapu. The ghosts were now in Ha'apai, so they swam on until they arrived in Kolongahau, where they went ashore. Sinilau untied the roll of gear and gave it to Talamasina, saying, "Here are the things that I died for. I give them to you as a gift, that someday when you marry again, you might wear them as your wedding garment. Treasure these gear, because my people did not want to lose them. I paid for them with my life, and because of them our love was destroyed." They embraced and wept in each other's arms. Then Sinilau left her and started to swim back to Samoa. Talamasina called out to him, "Farewell, Tala ki ha'amoa hoku ofa. Give my love to Samoa." And so the chiefly title, Tala ki ha'amoa, is still used today because of the parting words of Talamasina, the Tongan princess, to her Samoan lover.